what's up, Raider Nation? Welcome to the Vegas sports scene. I'm your host, the Bat Fry, Kenny Fry. Hope everybody's well out there. A little bit of a different day and time here for myself. Usually I do Saturdays at 10 p.m., but it's still camping season, and I figured Sunday at 7, Raiders played at 4. It might be a good time to come on, talk a little bit of Raiders preseason football, and go from there. See what else we can see what other trouble we can get ourselves into here. So we got a comment already. We'll go ahead and hit that up first, and it's our boy, of course, Adam Glenn. What's up, buddy? Hope you're a little bit kinder to me. You've been calling me fat ass a lot lately, so hopefully you're a little bit nicer to me. I don't know. I'm hurting, Adam. The Mets are really, really bad, so I could use like a virtual hug or something, dude. Fat ass isn't gonna cut it today. So the Raiders coming in today, preseason game against the San Francisco 49ers in Las Vegas. And it's one of those things I have to get used to. I think with the games in Las Vegas, it feels like it's really a really mixed crowd. Like you're getting a lot of cheers for the Raiders. You're also getting a decent amount of cheers for the 49ers, and I think it's going to be like that for all games in Las Vegas. You're going to have a split between teams instead of an overwhelming, home favorite, which is, kind of unfortunate. That's where you kind of lose that from Oakland or even from Los Angeles to that point. You lose that home field advantage. But it is what it is. It's a beautiful stadium, though. The Raiders deserve the new stadium. They deserve the new home, and they got it. It's just, you kind of lose that home field advantage. So with that being said, we got the Raiders kicking the brakes off of the 49ers. It's only preseason. I'm not going to get too hyped or too overly, excited about it. They did beat the brakes off the 49ers 34-7. A nice win. Again, preseason. And I don't remember what the record was last year for the Raiders in the preseason, but I feel like we had a really good preseason last year, maybe like a 2-1. I don't think we were 3-0 last year, but I could be wrong. So it doesn't mean a whole lot. But it's nice to see the younger players stepping up. There wasn't many starters playing. A few on the offensive line, a few in defense, but overall it's mostly backup players for the first preseason game. Now they only do 3 preseason games, so you're only getting a smaller sample size of your starters, and your really big stars, your key stars, you probably won't even see at all. Like with Devontae Adams going down with a leg injury. I don't want to say going down. I don't know exactly what's wrong. That I haven't seen anything. I was away all weekend, so I don't know exactly what happened. I just read that he was at practice and got hit during a joint practice with the 49ers and came up hobbled, and they took him off the practice field and ran some tests. I didn't see results from any of these tests or hear the extent of his injury, but I wouldn't expect to see him probably preseason. Jimmy Garoppolo, his ass gets hurt when the wind blows, so I wouldn't expect too much out of him in the preseason. Now with the whole running back situation with Josh Jacobs holding out, you have to wonder how much you'll see Zamir White. Now, you want to see what Zamir White has. My opinion, he is your top running back when Josh Jacobs is not there. He looked very good today, but you want to kind of limit the times he's getting hit if he's going to be your top running back moving forward. But I think they have a decent stable of running backs, with him, Amir Abdullah, Sincere McCormick, Britton Brown, and to a very, very, very much less extent, Brandon Bolden. I'm not a Brandon Bolden fan. He never did nothing to me. He didn't kick my dog or nothing like that. I'm just not a big Brandon Bolden fan. I don't know what it is, but Adam Glenn likes to punch me in the face. So that's what that is. Fat ass 21-3. Danny on Wheels. What up, Danny? You can check Danny out Monday's Joystick Junkies for all you gamers out there, and the Big Blue Power Hour Monday nights at I want to say 8 o'clock. Talking New York Giants football. It's 8 or 8:30. I'll get to the show. The show times a little bit later on. I can't remember if it's 8 or 8:30. But the Big Blue Power Hour and Joystick Junkies on Mondays. Eileen, what's up, Eileen? Eileen, I'll tell you what, all this Adam, call me fat ass all the time. You're the number one fan, Eileen. Hands down now. Adam, that title's gone from you. Eileen says it's the Bat Fry. Absolutely. Back from camping, was watching some Raider football. Liked what I saw, but again, it's preseason. You don't get overly hyped. 8:30 for the Big Blue Power Hour. Thanks, Danny. That's what I thought it was, but I'm like, I started doubting myself. And Joystick Junkies at 4:30. So be sure to check them out. Especially football season rolling up here. Really, really fast on us. Get all your Giants news and Giants talk from the Big Blue Power Hour and the Joystick Junkies. For you gamers out there, you got to check it out. So back to the Raiders. A lot of stuff I really did like seeing. Today was especially the first drive, the way Zamir White ran the ball, holes opened up really nicely. There wasn't we didn't have Andre James starting at center. We didn't have Colton Miller starting, but for the most part, they're starting offensive line for 3 out of 5. So it's for the most part. And I felt like they did a hell of a job opening up some holes for him, especially up the middle. Pass protection for O'Connell, very good. Aiden O'Connell looked very, very good, I thought. Very precise. I felt like he got the ball out. His release was very quick. He didn't hold on to it too long, but he did have some time. So he didn't have to drop back and fire right away. He did have time. He was able to drop back, watch, and then find the open receiver, the open target. And, for the most part, he put the ball right on target. So all the credit to him. So you had Zamir White. You had 13 carries in the game, 43 yards, and a touchdown. Like I said, there were some runs that he had, busting up the middle, 7, 8, 9 yards. Very good. The short distance runs, I don't know if they ran them on 2nd and 1 or 3rd and 1. Not very good. And whether or not that's the push or the lack of he's a strong guy, so I can't think it's lack of strength. But it very well could have been pushed. But there's a couple times the Raiders had a 3rd and 1 or 2nd and 1, and they handed it off to him, and he couldn't quite get that first down. He come up a little bit short, and they go to the quarterback sneak and get it that way. And there was even the one time, I think it was it might have been the second quarter. I think, yeah, I'm pretty sure it was the second quarter, where they had a 3rd and 1. Now this I'm going with play calling. I didn't like the play calling. I wasn't crazy about it. But 3rd and 1, they run the ball outside, gets tackled short. Now 4th and 1, they run the ball inside and got 0 push. So me personally, I don't like that outside run on 3rd down. 4th down, I don't like the inside run. They were, I think, at the 35, somewhere around there, 30, 35 yard line. The 49ers 30, 35, somewhere around there. I didn't like the inside run there. I think I would have more preferred maybe a play action pass. Now, if you're down on the goal line, I like the inside run there because anything can happen. Anything goes to review. You just need to get the tip of that ball to touch that line for a touchdown. But I felt where they were at, I would have liked to have seen something either. Maybe on that play, see something to the outside, something to stretch the field and maybe get it turned up. And then, because everybody's crowded into the box there. Or even just like a little slip pass or something outside to a tight end or to a running back, a fake, and let the quarterback roll out where he has the option of either taking it upfield and trying to get the first down with running, or have your a flood that way where you have your tight end and a receiver and maybe 2 tight ends and a receiver or something like that, all flood into one side where you have options. So I think that the play calling could have been more creative on that 3rd and 1 and 4th and 1 sequence earlier in the game, second quarter. Offensively, they looked good in the first quarter. Second quarter looked all right. The opening drive, very good. They came out, scored the touchdown, and very, very pleased. It couldn't have gone better, especially with Aiden O'Connell starting and Zamir White. It's kind of like a look into the future almost, especially if they're not going to bring back Josh Jacobs. and who knows how long Jimmy G is going to stay healthy for. So it's nice to see Aiden O'Connell out there and performing the way he did. It kind of gave you a lot of hope. He looked very, very competent. So, which is saying a lot, with the Raiders' recent history of quarterbacks and backup quarterbacks and stuff like that. Notwithstanding, Derek Carr, I thought Derek Carr is a fantastic quarterback, so not really including him. But there's been a lot of stinkers since 2000, 2003, 2004. There's a lot of stinkers behind behind center there. So we got to see Cole Fotherington had a couple nice catches. He's a tight end now. Rob and I talked about him last year when we first started doing the Vegas sports scene. We did talk about Cole Fotherington. I guess I'm trying to remember if he was the one that came up from the practice squad the season before. Last season he made the roster, and so he was kind of like a third or fourth tight end for the Raiders. So that was good to see. 5 catches for 71 yards. It was good to see him get involved. The tight end room's totally revamped from last season. With the loss of Darren Waller and Foster Moreau and stuff like that. Now you have I believe Austin Hooper. I think we released OJ. I could be wrong with that. I could be getting it mixed up. I'm not very. My brain works in different ways. I believe we released OJ Howard, but kept Austin Hooper, or was it the other way around? See, that's I can't remember stuff like that. I'm very poor with that. Danny on Wheel says, here we go. Senga going to collapse like Jenga. Senga's been solid for the Mets. I don't see Senga collapsing. Mets-wise, offensively, they haven't sniffed anything this whole series, so I don't see why that would change. I didn't see any of the games this past weekend for the Mets, so I can't really speak on it that much. I did see scores. I don't get much signal up at the camper, but not much, meaning pretty much zero. I can go to the playground and stand by the sled, but then I kind of look like a creeper or something like that. So that's kind of weird. If I'm standing there with my phone by the sled, kind of going like this, trying to get signal, it doesn't look right. That's how people call the authorities on you and stuff. And that's how you end up on an FBI list. Anyway, so yeah, but I did see some scores. I did see that doubleheader where they lost 21-3, and I think they lost, was it 6-0? But Jose Quintana again pitched a very good game, and the Mets weren't able to score for him. And they ended up, the Braves ended up tacking on more. The Braves are so good. There's a reason why the Braves are my number one on my power ranking. So it's, on the Batcaves power rankings. But this is the Vegas sports scene. But let's see. I don't know. I get frustrated, but I don't get that angry while they're throwing the TV. The 21-3, I had me really pissed off last night when I seen it. But then when I seen who the Mets trotted out there for the Braves to bash, and Danny Mendick, a position player, giving up a handful of runs. I mean, great for the Braves. That they scored 21 runs against a AAA team. Minus 3 players. So it's a rivalry game, so it really stings bad. But it is what it is. The Mets, so it's the one, not to get too far off the Raiders here. The one thing about the Mets, the more they lose, the better, apparently. So from what I'm understanding, I'm learning as I'm going here. From what I'm understanding, if they're able to finish either last in their division or the bottom 5 in the league, they will keep a first round top pick, meaning like top 5 or 6 or something like that. And if they finish higher than that, then their pick drops all the way down to like 31 or 32 because of the luxury tax penalties and stuff like that. I think that's what it is. I could be wrong with that because I'd never heard of it before. I never heard of that. It doesn't make sense to me. It doesn't make sense to me. So it's one of those ways to penalize the teams that spend a lot of money, but also kind of help them out if they spend a lot of money and shit the bed, which is what the Mets have done. So, And so yeah, so the Mets spend a lot of money. They shit the bed, and they got a lay in it now. So they got Acuna's brother, yeah, which is a huge get for them because he immediately went from not a Met to their top prospect, which was amazing. I think it's the first time ever both New York teams are in last place same season. Ugh, it's a rainy day. They can't wait for football season with the Jets and the Giants. Great things there. They're hoping for great things there. Ronald says he's better than he is. I'll tell you what. I would never say my brother's better than I am. He might be, but I'll never say it. Evan says, you think Crosby will be a trade option come the deadline? No, I don't. Don't try to get rid of our best player or second best player. I think Max Crosby, I think, is the Raiders' second best player behind Devontae Adams, in my opinion. Anyway, I just love his motor and stuff like that. But yeah, no, I don't think the Raiders have any ambitions in trading him. Now maybe Josh Jacobs. I don't know what they can do with him not signing the franchise tag. If there's any option with trading him, he's not under contract, so I guess they couldn't. But I guess the Raiders still own the rights. Maybe I don't know how it works. I have zero idea how it works. I'm not gonna pretend like I do because I'm just gonna sound like a moron. And I can do that on my own without, making stuff up. Why not get picked, start over, new quarterback, start fresh? Well, the reason you don't start over, I think, with Crosby is because he is a young guy. He is a core player. He's only coming into his I think his third or fourth full season. So I mean, I don't see now if he's an older guy. If he's pushing early 30s. All right, maybe look, see what you can get for him, especially, he's kind of at his peak almost. But no, I don't see any reason to, especially with his age, I'd keep him 100%. It wouldn't even be a thought. That's the last thing the Raiders need are more picks. With the way they pick guys. Now this past year, I felt like their draft was decent. When it first happens, you have that initial reaction of like what are they doing? Then you kind of let the dust settle, see what the experts have to say about it, and go off of that. And after looking at it all, like understanding why they picked who they picked where, all right, it's not a bad draft. So yeah, the last thing they should do is be trading Max Crosby away. Fan favorite. He would bring in some nice picks, but no way. He would look good in blue and red, though. I don't know, Evan. He would look good in blue and red. So another youngster, another rookie, Trey Tucker. He was able to get his hands on the ball a couple times. There was a pass that O'Connell threw deep to him down the sideline. He just trapped it a little bit. You could see the ball kind of squirt through, and he landed on top of it. But you could kind of see that speed and that explosiveness that he does have, and it was really exciting to see. A little guy like that, he can find open spots and or double moves, stuff like that. That's gonna be exciting to watch. Especially if he gets a decent amount of playing time. Now you talk about trade deadline stuff. Hunter Renfrow might be a guy. His name continually keeps coming up with trade talks, but that's a guy where if Trey Tucker does kind of step up, that you could see possibly, being traded away at a trade deadline type of deal, or like the way Keelan Cole played today. He's not quite the same type of player as Hunter Renfrow is, but Keelan Cole played well for us last year, and so far this year, in one preseason game. Started off, not too bad, not too shabby. Our main man Evan here says, but having only two players performing well, him and Adams and Jacobs being out gives a chance to rebuild at least one side of the ball quickly, and maybe if both traded, maybe both sides in 2 years. I like the direction they're going. I feel like they're at least Josh McDaniels is trying to build something in his, like with his system and stuff. But I don't think they're that far away right now. Like there's some pieces that they're missing on defense to make that viable, and you have to wonder if they've been able to remedy that this past offseason with a couple of the guys that they picked up. We saw tonight, Duke Shelley. He had some nice plays, did drop an interception that led to a touchdown in the end zone, but that's the kind of thing that Duke Shelley brings that we didn't have last season. We had, I believe, 2 interceptions last year, and I think they're both by the same guy, Amik Robertson. And but yeah, there's bringing in Marcus Peters as well. That veteran leadership. We only have one guy returning from last year's secondary, being Amik Robertson. So it's a good. I feel like they're building towards something good. They have some young guys there in the defensive backfield. They also have some veterans there. So I like where they're going. I don't want to trade away Max Crosby. And I don't think if they did trade Max Crosby away, there's no guarantee that any of that would fix what they have going on. The offensive line, I thought, played really well. Again, like I said, 3 of the 5 starters playing. Parham went down in the game. I don't know. I didn't see an update on him. I didn't remember seeing him coming back into the game. But I thought the quarterbacks had plenty of time in the game. To make the like I said, O'Connell, there's a couple times he dropped back. He was able to survey the field, find the open receiver, hit them in stride, or at least fairly close to stride. And Zamir White, plenty of running lanes. Sincere McCormick didn't have any big runs, but 8 carries for 20 yards. Amir Abdullah had what do we have here? Amir Abdullah 5 for 22. I like Sincere McCormick. I think I like his name more than I like the player, but I've been hearing a lot of good things about Sincere McCormick, so I wouldn't be surprised if throughout the season, if he makes the team, if he gets more carries than like Amir Abdullah would get. Eileen, you waiting to give Adams the boot? No. Devontae, I like Devontae. I didn't like the drama this past offseason with Devontae. I don't know what the deal was with that. If that was something that was blown out of proportion or not, I don't know. But that's something that he's not known for. At least I never heard it, in Green Bay of him creating drama or speaking on things to the media that maybe he shouldn't be. But as a fan, you kind of appreciate it. The honesty and stuff like that. You appreciate players speaking to it. Kind of puts a little bit more pressure on the management and coaching staff. But that doesn't seem like Devontae Adams' style, and I was kind of surprised by it. And I don't think they're gonna. I hope they don't give him the boot. I could be wrong though. But time will tell. He's going to be a Jet, Eileen. Yeah, and that's something I said at the top of the show, that you kind of lose some of that with the atmosphere in Vegas. In Oakland and Los Angeles, it was Raider Nation. There's a spider on my desk. I had to beat the shit out of it. Finish him off here for a second. Hang on. There we go. He didn't see that coming, little bastard. I don't like spiders at all. So yeah, but that's something I said at the top of the show. You didn't see that coming in the show. We got everything around Out of the Box Sports. We got sports talk. We got spider killing. We got everything. It was like a 50-50 split. It felt like there was it got loud a couple times for the 49ers. It was, equally as loud for the Raiders. I said with Vegas being like more of a vacation destination than it is a hometown, I think you're going to get a lot of that, no matter, who the Raiders are playing, which is unfortunate because, it's nice to see that home field advantage. It's awesome. Like when you're watching a game in Kansas City for the Chiefs or in Seattle or Philadelphia, stuff like that. It just gets so loud for their home team, Tennessee. It creates a real home field advantage. But you're not going to get that in Las Vegas. It's really unfortunate, but you're not going to get that in Las Vegas. And like I said, it's a beautiful stadium. The Raiders deserve a new stadium, and so they got it. But it came with a price. You lose that home field advantage, and it would have been nice if it was in Oakland. So I still do miss saying Oakland Raiders, but you move on. He's going to be a Jet, Eileen. Davante Adams, the Jet. Why would you not want him as a Jet? Yeah, he's fifth in receptions last year. I think third in yards and first in touchdowns. I mean, that's nothing to sneeze at. Eileen, we can't keep up with the wide receivers we have now. You trade half of them to the Raiders, it'll be fine. Adam, this is Adams last year with the Raiders. It very well could be. It depends on how the season goes. If it's another crap season, they would blow it up. I think again, where they get rid of a lot of the veterans, and I don't know what. I'm not a college football guy. I do watch a little bit of college football, but I don't know what the quarterback class looks like coming up. And from what I understand, it's better than what it was this past season. So if Jimmy G goes down hurt, Aiden O'Connell goes out there, and he's not who they were hoping he would be, then you could very well see Josh McDaniels being let go and just starting all over again, which is what we've been doing for 20 years now. So it's the New York Packers, just like we have the Las Vegas Patriots. I feel your pain there, Eileen, which is one of the reasons I think I don't like Brandon Bolden. It's not his fault. I just think it's because he was a Patriot. Well, write it down, Adam, and we'll come back to this next year, and we'll see. We'll see what happens there. If Adams is a Jet next year, or if he's still a Raider, or if he's somewhere else, maybe he'll be in Atlanta or something. I don't know. So another bright spot to the game today, to the Raiders preseason win over the 49ers, was the defense. I thought that we had really good pressure on the quarterback, Trey Lance. They were in his face a lot, especially early on. We ended up with four sacks, an interception, fumble recovery, 2 dropped interceptions. You can't have that happen. You need every single one, especially with our defense, the way it's been for such a long time. It's you need every single potential turnover to go your way. Less time that defense is out there, the more time our offense is on the field is better. And you get our playmakers out there, Jacoby Myers, Davante Adams, Hunter Renfrow. Get those guys out there. They can't be out there if our defense is dropping interceptions. Though it's great. It was great to see them getting their hands on the ball, making plays, but that's one thing. We got to have the turnovers. That's something we haven't had in years. A team with a lot of turnovers. Unless that team part of the team was the offense. We've had that last year. We've had that, but defensively, we have not been able to create a lot of turnovers last couple seasons, and that's something we desperately need in order for us to get better, in order for us to be a viable team, a team that's going to be respected throughout the league. And without that, our defense is going to be stuck out there, and it's going to be another shit show potentially. I did like the way Isaac Rochelle played for the Raiders. You've seen his name quite a few times there up the middle, really clogging the middle up. He had a half a sack and a couple tackles. Neil Farrell Jr., a guy that we drafted, I think it was I don't know if it was last year or the year before, drafted him as a tackle. And, I really liked what he did in today's game. He had a couple tackles, but again, was able to get push up the middle, clogged the middle up a little bit. The 49ers couldn't get much of a run game going. And like I said, early on passing-wise, Trey Lance, he was we were in his face. We made him uncomfortable. So, huge props to the defense. Linebacking core, again, they mentioned it on the broadcast. It's a very small linebacking core. I do like Luke Masterson, Devon Diablo. But it was nice when we had Denzel Perryman there. He's a bigger linebacker that can stick his nose up there into the middle of the defense and make a play or clog it up even more. And unfortunately, he had a bit of a injury, reoccurring injuries the last couple seasons, and the Raiders never re-signed him. Which wasn't surprising. I didn't think the Raiders would re-sign him. He's getting up there in age, but I was hoping they would because he is still a good linebacker. He is still making plays when he is out there. It's just he's not out there enough. So I'd feel a little bit better if they had a little bit somebody a little bit bigger in the middle to help out with the run game. But sometimes speed is better than size. So now you see that a lot in the offensive game. Why can that not be a factor in the defensive game as well? I have a bunch of free safety type sized guys at linebacker. Hope your front four, front five can hold the run down, and you let those guys make plays from sideline to sideline. Hopefully you solidify the middle. Your two big guys, let your linebackers run the field, and make plays that way. I mean, is that their plan? Is that their the way they're doing things? I don't know. I have no idea. That's speculation. That's just me, thinking that's why they have a bunch of small guys playing linebacker. I don't know. So yeah, what else we got? Well, I'm going to go ahead and do a read here real quick. This is just going to be Raider talk. I'm not going to get into the Golden Knights, the Lady Aces. So I'm going to do that later on. So from week to week, the time for this show is going to change week to week, especially right now during camping season. Because if I'm camping or working, I'm going to go do that. And then I'll just change the time of the show. But I need to get on weekly where I was missing some shows because then there wasn't a whole lot going on. It was just, there wasn't a whole lot going on with the Golden Knights. The Raiders were there wasn't a whole lot going on with them. But besides Josh Jacobs, that was the only thing going on. And that wasn't, for very good podcasting. And, but anyway, So the times of this is going to change. Probably try to stick with Sundays, but it's all going to depend on what the show schedule for the other guys. Because I know on Sundays they're doing Eagles, Giants, Cowboys, and I think Redskins pre-games and post-games. So if they have a later game, maybe I'll have to go earlier or something like that. But I'll try to get on every week, and it'll be rotating days. So for now, anyway. Jason, I thought that was Monkey Cold Coffee. Jay Feinlaw, attorney Big Al, 1-800-HURT-123. That's 1-800-HURT-123. Jay Feinlaw specializes in motor vehicle accidents, slip and fall, workman's comp, and personal injury claims. You can contact Jason at 1-800-HURT-123. That's 1-800-HURT-123. They have 3 convenient office locations throughout Pennsylvania and New Jersey. Cherry Hill, New Jersey, 3 Greensward Lane, Cherry Hill, New Jersey. And the number there is 856-209-5258. Office in the Steel City of Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. And the office is located at 500 Grant Street, Suite 2900, Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. And the number there is 412-365-8151. And in the city of brotherly love, Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, 1628 JFK Boulevard, Suite 2120. And the phone number there is, if I move that banner out of the way, I'll be able to see it because I cannot see it right now. The number there is 267-888-2980. That's Jay Feinlaw, attorney Big Al. Remember, 1-800-HURT-123. Tell them the Bat Fry sent you. Yeah. All right, got to hit up a comment here. Adam Glenn, this is your job. This is not my job. I wish this was my job. If this was my job, I'd have a whole lot more information. I'd be a little bit more in depth to it. I'd have special guests every week. I'd have all sorts of crap in the background, that'd really stand out. But no, this is not my job. I really wish it was. It'd make it. It'd be a lot better. It'd be more fun than what I do regularly. So, all right. Then we got another read here for our Monkey Cold Coffee. I could have swore I seen the red. I'm like, oh, we got Monkey Cult. I threw it up. Like I started reading Monkey Cult, but it's not Monkey Cult. It was Jay Feinlaw. But here we go. MonkeyCultCoffee.com is where you can find your Monkey Cult coffee, the bourbon chocolate chip infused coffee, the toasted coconut rum, and of course a brand new Sumatran blend coffee. All of them are terrific. They have cold brew pitchers, T-shirts, mugs, K-cup adapters. This and so much more. I love Monkey Cult Coffee. I'll put this banner up so you can see the T-shirts and the coffee mugs and the tumbler and stuff like that. So get all that stuff at monkeycultcoffee.com. And again, I say it every week, like a broken freaking record. I love Monkey Cult Coffee. I really enjoy their product. I'm not just blowing smoke up your wazoo. So join the evolution. I'm not going to say the CULT word, CULT. I'm not going to say it because I don't want to get banned. There's some social media platforms where you can't say the word. You can't, even though it's part of a hashtag and stuff like that. You're not allowed to say it. Oh, heaven forbid you said the word. I'm not going to say it. I'm a follower. I'm not gonna lead any expeditions or anything like that. I'm not a, yeah. Anyway, monkeycultcoffee.com. At checkout, use the promo code OOTB Sports for 10% off. Again, at checkout, use OOTB Sports for 10% off your order. And for every bag of coffee sold, the owner for Monkey Cult Coffee, Matt, will donate a portion of the proceeds to the National Pediatric Cancer Foundation to help, in pediatric cancer research and stuff like that. So even if you don't like coffee, go ahead and get yourself some coffee to help the kids out and, give it away. Give it to a homeless person or something. I don't know. Get yourself a bag of coffee and give it to mom, dad, cousin, sister, brother. And make yourself a coffee cake. There's so many things you can do with coffee. It's not just for drinking. But, you make yourself a tiramisu cake. I think that, I don't know if that takes coffee liqueur or coffee or both. I think it takes both. I love tiramisu cake. You make me a tiramisu cake. Send it in the mail. I'll take it. I'll accept it. I'm not shy. Hey, we got the showstopper, Cowboy Dave. How you doing, buddy? You can check Cowboy Dave out on Tuesdays, extra innings. Talking all Major League Baseball with Sully. On Wednesdays, I think at 9:30, talking Cowboys football on Dem 215 Boys with Maiko and Matt, the TOP, the Tower of Patience. And on Friday with myself. And last night Friday night was actually a Maiko because I was away on the Atomic Drop podcast talking WWE wrestling. And I will be back next Friday. I do believe we have a special guest coming on next Friday. So stay tuned for that. We'll announce it throughout the week and we'll have a promo out for it and stuff like that. So a good Friday coming up, me and Cowboy Dave. It's going to be a lot of fun. Adam Glennon, you hit it on the nose, buddy, right there. If this was your job, Jen would kick you out. She would. Because if this was my job, I would not get paid top dollar because I am what they call a ham and egger. And if you know what a ham and egger is, if you ever heard the expression, then you're a wrestling fan. So that was a famous, I believe, Bobby Heenan reference. He used to call them ham and eggers when he was doing commentary. Oh, look at this ham and egger in there. It's so that's what I actually call my boy that now. I said, come here, you little ham and egger. It's a funny expression. I like it. I think it should be used more regularly by people. Ham and egger. I think that should be something that you hear on broadcasts, for football, baseball, any kind of sport, or even during like presidential debates and stuff. Calling each other a ham and egger. I think that'd be funny. I'd vote for the guy that called another person a ham and egger. So if you want my vote, call your opponent a ham and egger. Ham and egger. So that way, if I'm saying it too fast, you're like, what the hell does he keep saying? Ham and egger. Like a blue collar guy. And a Joe everybody. You don't stand out. Just a part of the crowd. You're a Hammenegger. All right. So that's all I have from the Raiders today. I really liked what I saw. I really liked the offensive line. Aiden O'Connell was very good. Zamir White looked good. Defensively, I thought the defense looked really, really good. I was very happy with that, especially, Trey Lance is a starting quarterback. He was in there, and they were all over him. Granted, he's coming off injury and stuff like that, but still, it was nice to see. The Raiders didn't have any starters on the front line. At least their big name starters: Chandler Jones, Max Crosby. But they're able to disrupt a lot of things. A lot of really good push. Made things very uncomfortable for Trey Lance back there early on. So I was very happy to see that. It made me feel a little bit hopeful. Last year, watching preseason with the Raiders winning, I don't know if I felt hopeful. I was kind of like, oh, okay, great, they won. But I feel hopeful with this win. Again, it's just preseason, so no reason to get too high or too low with it. The same thing with the 49ers. The 49ers are going to be good. So there's no reason for their fan base to get too high or too low over a 34-7 ass whooping that those Hammeneggers got to get, from the Raiders. So got a couple more comments here before I do the show read. It says, Dave Yarnell, are we seeing a big year from Jimmy G? I don't know. So here's my thought on the Jimmy G situation. If they call, there shouldn't be a problem. If they call the games according to his skill set, there is potential, if he stays healthy, for him to have a really big year. Because there are playmakers on this team. There are guys that can pile up the stats and the numbers. But if they turn him into a, throw the ball 35 times a game, throw deep passes, that's not Jimmy G. Jimmy G is, I don't want to say game manager because I think he's more than that. But Jimmy G's not a big time passer. He's not a guy that's going to go out there and go 25 for 30 or 29 for 35. So guys like that would throw the ball a lot. But I do think, he's good enough where he can be, 20 out of 27 and, 250 yards. That's a really good day. So I do think there's potential for him having a big year, and it's going to come down to the play calling, something that I think the Raiders coaching staff failed to do for Derek Carr last year. Obviously, Derek Carr struggled. He struggled with Josh McDaniel's system. He said as much. He said there's times he wanted to audible out of it, and he's told he's not allowed to audible out of it. So what do you do? I mean, it's he got in trouble, I believe, if the story's correct or not. But that game where Josh Jacobs ran the ball, I think it was 95 yards for the game-winning touchdown in overtime or something like that. I can't remember who was against. But that was an audible that he got in trouble for audibling out of the play that was originally called. It was the game-winning touchdown. And Derek Carr is getting his butt slapped for audibling out of a play that may not have led to the game-winning touchdown. I mean, like in my mind, it's asinine. If you go back and watch our episodes from last season with Rob and I, there are so many games, especially early in the season, where the Raiders were winning and they only ran Josh Jacobs 10, 11 times, 12 times. Well, and I'd come on the show every week screaming from the mountaintops, run the goddamn ball, run the ball. But they're not. 10 times, 11 times, that's not enough. Overall as a team, they're only running 15 times a game. And those 10, 11 carries that Josh Jacobs was getting, he was running for 50 yards. So it's not like he was running 10 times for 11 yards or like that. He was running the ball really, really well. They just didn't want to give it to him for some reason. So you have Derek Carr out there trying to make the plays, not making the plays, and eventually leading to giving the other team extra opportunities, either through turnovers or short 3 and outs, 3 downs and out. Or leave, in overtime, like against the Cardinals, it just turnover in overtime. And, even though the Raiders were up by 20 points or whatever, 17 points, at one point in that game, so a lot of it has to do with play calling. If they don't run the ball like they should, then it might be a very, very long season or a short season for Jimmy G, however you want to look at it. Eileen says, will Jimmy G play preseason or more likely no? So earlier I said I don't think he'll play preseason. If he does play preseason, it's not going to be a lot. Maybe a quarter. I don't see a half. Just like Davante Adams, I wouldn't expect Davante Adams out there. Maybe Max Crosby next preseason game out there for maybe a half or a quarter. Same thing with Chandler Jones. Chandler Jones, him being a little bit older, holding him back a little bit. But Max Crosby, him being a little bit younger and, getting him out there a little bit earlier to kind of get him warmed up for the season. But Jimmy G, I would not expect – if he does play, it's not going to be a lot, a quarter or so. For some reason, I feel like Derek Carr didn't play at all last season in the preseason. And that was one of the things that are leading up that are explaining his slow start last season was, well, he didn't have any preseason games. So if you look at the first 2 or 3 games, that's like his preseason, which is bullshit. That's nonsense. They should play the preseason, at least one game, whether it be the last game or the second to last game. But I don't expect them to play. If history tells us anything, then don't expect Jimmy G to play preseason. If he does, it's not going to be a lot. So that's my thought on that. We got our Out of the Box Sports show schedule here for the week. Let me get the banner off of here before I rip through this one. Let me see here. Is this the correct one? I think there was a new one. Let me double check here. If I see a new one, I'm going to put that one up there. I do not see a new one. So we'll go with this one. All right, Mondays at 4:30 p.m. we have Joystick Junkies. Like I mentioned earlier with Danny and Evan talking video games. 6 p.m. the Sully Squad on Mondays talking Philly sports. 8:30 p.m. the Big Blue Power Hour talking New York Giants football with Stacy, Evan, and Danny. Tuesdays at 6:30, you have the Commanders Gridiron talking Washington Commanders football. Super excited to have that show on board. Doing very, very well. The first couple weeks it's been on. Then 8:30 p.m. you have Extra Innings talking Major League Baseball. Wednesday mornings at 10 a.m. you have the Bat Cave with myself. This week we'll have a guest on, Phil Haney. I'll put a promo out there and kind of give you an idea as to who Phil is. So I'm super excited to have Phil on. Last week I had Frank the Tank on, and I'll tell you, I wish I would have done better. I feel like I shit the bed again with Frank on there, but I did the best I could. And, in the amount of time that I did have, I was, kind of pigeonholed into a time there, 30 to 45 minutes, and we got out of there at 35 minutes. But yeah, so hopefully I can get Frank on again in the future. I feel like I can do better with Frank, and I feel like he was falling asleep there for a little bit. I don't know what it was. Maybe that's my personality. Makes him drowsy. I don't know, or because it was 11:30 in the morning and he was still tired. I don't know. 8 p.m. you have College Football Frenzy. That should be starting up very soon here. 9:30, them 215 boys talking Dallas Cowboy football. Thursdays, Fuji's Philly Flair is on pause right now. Fuji's has other stuff going on for the next few weeks, so he won't be on. But at 7 p.m. on Thursdays will be the NFC East Roundtable with we'll have a fan from the Commander Show, from Dem 215 boys, from Big Blue Power Hour, and an Eagles fan on there. So we'll have all 4 guys that kind of like talking NFC East, kind of debating with each other a little bit maybe, or it's going to be a lot of fun to watch, to have 4 people on the screen once talking about their prospective teams that are longtime rivals. So that's going to be a lot of fun. Fridays at 10:30 p.m., myself and Cowboy Dave on the Atomic Drop podcast talking WWE wrestling. Saturday, 11 a.m., Irish pregame, and the Irish postgame will be after the game, obviously. So whenever the game is that day, expect the postgame. And like I said earlier in the show, the Vegas sports scene. Right now, I'll be moving that show around a bit to open spots, due to work and camping and stuff like that. But once the camping season's over, I'll probably go pretty steady Saturday nights. Whenever the Irish pregame's over, if it's a late game for the Irish, then I'll go after that, or maybe I'll even go a little bit earlier during the Irish game so I don't interfere with the Irish postgame. Sundays, you'll have Eagles, Giants, Cowboys pregame, and an Eagles, Giants, Cowboys postgame, and possibly the Commanders. And I'll try to get on to Raiders pregame and postgame. Depends on what time they're playing. And we'll go from there. So coming soon, like I said, the NFC East Roundtable, which will be Thursday. I believe the inaugural episode is going to be this Thursday at 7 p.m. We're looking to do a show called The Debate Room, where it's exactly what it sounds like, some debating going on there about anything in sports. Lights, camera, action. Again, that's exactly what it sounds like. Talking, film, talking Hollywood crap, TV shows and stuff. Also, the Birds Corner, which is not what it sounds like. This is an Eagles show. It's not a bunch of dudes in the corner. Then the Old School Show. We already had one episode of the Old School Show, myself and Sully. It's Joe Sullivan's show. I was his guest host for the first episode of the Old School, talking 86 Mets. And I believe they're working on the next episode about the 93 Phillies. So that's going to be a lot of fun because that 93 Phillies team was a lot of fun for everybody. Mitch Williams, Darren Dutch Dalton, John Kruk, Tommy Green, Mickey, Morandini, all those guys. So that'd be a lot of fun for that show. So, yeah, make sure you check out all of our shows, Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, Twitch. We're also on the Insta. That's what the kids are calling, I think, nowadays, Instagram. They call it the Insta. Twitter is actually an X now, so I don't know if it's a Twitter, if it's considered Twitter. I don't know what do you call it, X? I don't know. Does the X stand for 10? Is it called 10? I don't know. But anyway, yeah, I lost my train of thought there. We're also on a TikTok, so check us out there. We make a little bit of TikTok videos and put them on there, promos and stuff. So yeah, we're having fun here. Lots of new stuff coming. So, be sure to stay tuned for this, that, and the other. Great start to the preseason for the Raiders. I want to give a shout out. Oh, I got another sponsor read yet here. Jesus Christ, I'm forgetting it. Our newest sponsor. How can I forget our newest sponsor? Dugout Mugs. You can check them out at dugoutmugs.com. Use the promo code OOTBSports20 for 20% off at checkout. Once again, that promo code to be used at dugoutmugs.com is OOTBSports20. I love Dugout Mugs. I don't need to tell you that because normally you see me drinking out of Dugout Mug, but I forgot it. I'm very thirsty right now. My mouth is super dry. I'm tripping over my words, and I sound like a moron. So you can see behind me. There it is. There, see it. It's hard because the camera reverses everything. But the Dugout Mug's right there behind me. I have a whole stack of them. I got 4 there. I got 2 more in the cabinet by the sink that I actually use. Knob shot, all that good stuff. They have a bunch of other different products. They have baseballs cut in half for bottle openers. They have coasters with your favorite team on there. You can get stuff personalized with your company's logo. One thing I thought would be pretty cool for like a wedding party gift, getting, maybe like the bride and groom's name on the side and the date or something like that. And the dude or lady in the wedding party, their name etched in the side, anything. So it's, they have some that are painted, some that are ash, some that are, they're called shortstops, are a little bit smaller than a regular Dugout Mug, some that are shaped in wine glasses. So a lot of different products there on dugoutmugs.com. So be sure to check them out. And like I said, OOTB Sports 20 for your 20% off. Got a couple comments here before I get out of here. Maiko Spencer. What's up, Maiko? Said, go sign Kareem Hunt with no Jacobs. Is Cole fathering him the real deal? Could be nice combo with Mayer. Cole, he did well last year after while Darren Waller was hurt with Foster Moreau. I don't think he's the real deal, but he's not a bad number 3, number 4 to have there just in case, for big packages, for guys that kind of forget about him out there. So I do think Cole Fotheringham has a spot on the roster. So I hope he stays around. I like what I saw from him today, and even last year I thought. College football back this Wednesday with Paul and Bill Furman, and NFC East this Thursday. So 7 p.m. Fuji is off for 4 weeks due to working Phillies games. There you go. So I knew Fuji's Philly Flair was off for a little bit because he had other stuff going on. So that you heard it here first. Definitely this Thursday, you have the NFC East roundtable at 7 p.m. and back. Finally, the college football frenzy has come back to Out of the Box Sports Entertainment. This Wednesday, Paul and Bill Furman will be talking college football, and it's right around the corner, everybody. Football season's right around the corner. College football will be starting up anytime. It always starts before the pros' regular season starts up, so it's only a matter of time now. The days are being counted down. And I'll tell you what, as a baseball fan, I can't wait till it does start so I don't have to pay attention to what's going on there in New York City. I can't handle it anymore. No words can describe the loathing I have for this season with the Mets. But it is what it is. It's one season, and you move on to next year. And Eileen, Yankee fan, she feels the pain as well. Maybe not to the extent that I feel it, but Yankee season is over, and she is officially done. Bring on the Jets, right, Eileen? Maiko says Braves sweep 27-3 in 2 days. Yeah, I mean, that was one day. 27-3 was one day. It was 2 games. It was a doubleheader. But yeah, it was a really bad series for the Mets and Braves. They finished it up tonight. It's going on right now. I know Kodai Senga was going for the Mets. And as of right now, it's 3-0 Braves. So am I shocked? No, not really. What do we got for Senga? What is he doing here? Let me see what Sanga's doing. 2 2/3, 2 hits, 3 earned runs, 2 walks, 4 Ks. And Senga's been really good for us this year. So, yeah, I expect the Braves to complete a 4-game sweep. And, again, this is not the same Mets team that was out there opening day. This is like a barely above a AAA team. The only reason it's above a AAA team is because you still have Alonso, McNeil, Nimmo, Francisco Alvarez, who wasn't on the opening day roster. But, those guys, they're still playing. So that's the only thing keeping it above a AAA roster. So, but that talk comes on Wednesday on the Bat Cave. Like I said, this Wednesday, check me out. I'll have a special guest on, and I'll put a promo out there about a little bit more about Phil coming this week. One more comment before I hit the road. I think this is the earliest time I've ever said bring on the Jets. Well, as a Yankee fan, you had a lot of great seasons. So as a Mets fan, this is almost every couple of years the Mets are pretty good. So I'm not going to lie saying this is like an every year thing. It's not an every year thing. The Raiders are an every year thing where it comes, November. I'm like, is it baseball season yet? God damn it. But for the Mets, for the most part, they do have some pretty good teams out there. I'm not going to – there was some lean years in the 90s, early part of the 90s, but recent history, the Mets have been pretty good. All right. Hey, thanks for checking the show out, everybody. I appreciate it very much. Just bear with me with the Vegas sports scene here as I navigate the waters here and kind of jump the show around a little bit until I get more steady over the winter months, and then it'll come back to the spring and summertime, and we'll be navigating again. Thanks for checking the show out. I'll see you guys next time, and just win, baby.